All right. Hey, everyone, give me 1 second. Let me go ahead and cut off the music. There we go. All right, Lillian, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Perfect. That's awesome. All right, everyone. Thank you for joining us this evening on the first podcast called Moviecrew17's The Lounge. My name is Keith. I am the owner of Movie Crew 17. It is also my channel that I release all my films on, short films and all the good stuff that you've seen. Also, it is the home of the Red Hunter series, which we will be talking about in a little bit. Today, I have my co-host this evening, Lillian Lamour.
Hi, guys. Thanks for coming in. If any of you are coming in, I don't even know. I can't see if
Oh,
anybody's.
hold on. Give me a second. Hold on. Let me go ahead and set this up. Hang on. Let me open up our. I totally forgot to add that. Give me a second. I believe I can go ahead and add our chat here. Here it is. There he is. All right.
Lord Gary.
What's up, my brothers and sisters? Gary, how are you doing? Gary is another donator who has donated to the Red Hunter series. Shout out to you, Gary. Thanks for tuning in tonight. We're going to be having a great conversation about filmmaking 101. So, this is kind of like our introduction to anyone out there who wants to get into filmmaking, um, or it could also be for people who already in the filmmaking business, but they just want to listen and see something that they probably haven't heard of, but they're 2 cents in. So,
Sammy.
and
Sammy
we also
there.
have Sammy coming in. Hey, Sammy, how's it going? Um, so, um, yes, thanks for tuning in with us this evening. So, today I'm gonna leave the chat out open over here so people can see it. There we go. All right. So before we start, I like to do a quick run through of everything. So up on the upper left corner, as you see, we are going to be having uh, QR codes. Over here is our Cash App to our Red Huntress official Cash App. So throughout the night, you guys can go ahead and donate if you like. We're not pressing anybody to donate. It's just do it at your own will. Anything would be grateful and we would truly appreciate it. Tonight's funds will be used, any donations that we make tonight will be used in helping us film episode 2 of The Red Huntress. Also, small portions of it will be going into our stream. So, if you want to go ahead, scan that QR code and you want to donate, thank you so much in advance. And we'll be able to, I believe on here, we'll be able to see when somebody donates. All right. So I I think Sammy just said something. Um, Also, as we get into talking a little bit more about filmmaking 101, if you want to go and support our Indiegogo for the Red Huntress, you can go over here and click on the QR, or you can scan the QR code and check it out. We'll be going over that in just a little bit during our little talk about the Tales of the Red Huntress, which is going to be a small segment that we will be talking about episode 1 and moving into episode 2. And of course, my co-host is also a part of the Red Huntress as well. So playing as Laura Wello. So we'll get into that very shortly. So just to let everybody know, you can go ahead and I'll leave this up over here. And if you just see this pop up, it's the same thing. Nothing different. Oh, it's covering Lillian's face. Let me move that over there. Why? It won't let me move it. Wait, hold on. Okay, there we go. I got it.
Yay.
But now it's covering up the comments. But okay, we'll take this off. We'll hide it for now. Okay, there we go. And now I lost everybody. Hang on, I got everybody. I'm back. There it is. All right, and as Sammy says, I'm pressing do it with multiple T's and an LOL. All right, so let's get this going on today's episode of The Lounge. We are talking about filmmaking 101. All right, so um but first let's talk a little bit about you, Lillian. Like, so
Oh,
what
don't do
got
that.
you into the filmmaking industry?
What's that?
what got you into the filmmaking industry? What started your career path here? Why did you want to
Okay.
become an actor?
So I've always wanted to be an actress since I was a kid. I would often play adventures with the kids in the neighborhood, like, being in an action film kind of thing. And I would pretend, like, I'd imagine in my head, like there's a camera zooming up at me in some dramatic moment. So I've always had that, I don't know if you call it instinct, like just wanting to do that. Where my, I guess you could say, career of independent film really started was I have and I don't know if he's watching tonight, but a Facebook friend named Jason Sullivan. I
Mhm.
met him years prior, actually, at a Denny's, and he had me looking over a script of his because he knew I was interested in screenwriting and such. And he had come up on my news feed of Facebook. This was back in 2011, I think. And he was having a screening of a short film of his. And it's your 42nd birthday on Monday the 25th. Well, happy early birthday.
Hey, early. Actually, we will be having our next podcast next week on the 25th. So, oh, that's oh wait, no,
Wait,
is that next? Yeah.
25th? No, that's not the
Yeah,
20th.
it's the
Is it?
25th. Is
No,
that
the
next?
next Monday is the 18th, but the
The 18th.
following Monday is the
The
25th.
following Monday, we got you, Gary.
Yeah.
Happy early birthday also to
Yes.
Gary Dando. Happy birthday, early one. So, yes, we'll be doing our podcast every Monday. So, you guys can tune in and we'll be having a podcast on Gary's birthday.
Yeah,
So,
we'll have to get some cupcakes or something to
yeah,
celebrate.
something. Yes. So, all right, all right.
Um, but yeah, so anyway, so um this guy Jason, he's having a screening of his film that he wrote, and I'm like, I haven't talked to him in a while. What the heck? Let me come out and support him. And I went to I don't know what event it was, but by going to that event, I met filmmaker and presenter, producer Willie Atkins, who's big in the indie film scene, and he's done a lot of stuff. And then from there, it kind of like spread out, and I just kept getting making connections and getting film work. I also did some stuff in Michigan, just kind of looking
Mhm.
online. It was kind of in the region, and it just kept going from there. But that's where I got
Nice.
my start in the indie film,
That's where you
Chicago
start.
indie film
So,
scene. Yeah.
I think Lillian, we met. Was it this year or was it last year? I think we met I think it was this year, wasn't it?
I think, yeah, yeah,
It
yeah,
was
because you
this
reached
year.
out to
It
me
was this year. We were
earlier.
Facebook friends for a little bit, and then we actually met in person.
Yeah.
So I can subtract that number from my Facebook friend list to I actually met this person
Yeah,
instead of
yeah.
just like this is my Facebook friend.
Yeah, I know.
Um,
There's so many Facebook
so
friends that I've never met, but
so um me and Lillian met. I was doing a set of my old film called Fate Forthcoming Remastered, which is a sci-fi action series, fantasy series that I did, and we filmed it over the summer. And if some of you guys follow what we do, here are actually a few pictures of Lillian playing as the assassin. Here we go. We did some promotion videos of her playing as our assassin. As you guys know, it's Fate Forthcoming. That's actually going to be releasing soon, possibly early next year. We'll be getting it out because right now we're working with the Red Huntress, but that will be out. And also, Lillian, you put your hands in the water of directing too with Derange. Am I right?
yeah, and the project almost made me go deranged, but
You still
yeah,
got your hair. You're okay, as everyone
yeah,
says. You
barely.
have in
I've
common.
actually, what's funny? I actually have like when I wash my hair in the shower, I'm like, no, like this is all a result of all the stress. But yeah, Derange was born out of. I actually didn't want to direct this. I'll just talk about it briefly, but I didn't really want to direct it. Thank you, Sammy. Um, but yeah, I didn't want to direct or range. I wanted to write a
Such a
project.
bad A with $2 signs. $2 signs. Oh snap! I was just gonna say, oh snap.
Oh,
There you go.
there you go. um, but I wanted to, the reason why I wrote Deranged was because I wanted to create a certain kind of character that was very um, deep and interesting and compelling. And so I wrote Deranged, a kind of psychological thriller mystery, and I wanted someone else to direct it. I was not even thinking that I would direct it. The reason why I did direct it was because we had a previous director that was unable to do it. And so I needed to get this thing done. There were a lot of setbacks. We had another actor initially, and he bailed on the project halfway through after we filmed half of it. So there were a lot of things. We lost the location. So there was a lot of like chaos going on, and
Mhm.
I needed to get it done. I was tired of putting it off. And
Right.
I just was like, I guess I'll have to direct it.
You
But
gotta take matters into your own hands.
yeah, basically, yeah. I mean, in hindsight, I look back and I would say I would probably not the strongest candidate to be a director of it. I mean, part of it was because I was the lead, so it's kind of hard to be a direct, if you don't have a lot of money for your film,
Right.
you
Right.
can't hire all these people to fulfill these roles. You're kind of doing a lot of the stuff yourself. And I would, within a scene, if I was had a lot of dialogue, it was hard for me to be say action. I had to be mentally had to jump out of myself and be director and then go back. But I relied on a lot of other people. Joe Yauk, who he's a co-star in it, and actually helped do some of the edits for the writing. So I leaned on him a lot. So a lot of hands were in the pot to make this thing uh, get complete. But I learned so much, so I would not change it as far as me being the director. But I acknowledge I was not super strong in that. But I learned a lot, and it was I think it was actually it was for the best. But yeah, so that is actually I actually had a showing back in July, and I'm getting ready to get it for streaming, which requires me to meticulously go through and do the captions for it, and that's very hard.
Okay.
This kind of ties in with the whole filmmaking 101.
It is. It is. It does tie into filmmaking 101 because you're getting into for this. I mean, it's not your first rodeo being an actor, but it is your first rodeo doing directing.
Yes,
And
yeah,
I always tell people it's a whole different ball game depending on what side of the court you're playing on. If you are in front of the camera, I completely agree how difficult that is. And then when it's not the same though when you step behind the camera because it gets more into organization, into scene
yeah,
setups. It's more of, I guess you can say, production. It's corporate type of work that you get into.
right,
Well,
right,
instead of the acting aspect, which is more okay, memorize and portray. So two
yeah.
different vibes that you get from each side of the ballpark.
Well, I
So
would say it's a moment of terror that comes over you when you all of a sudden have the realization that, oh shit, it's all on me as far as, being responsible for props and wardrobe and different things. That's like, I was of a mentality, I was used to other people handling that when I was just the actress in their films, like,
right,
not even have to think about that, let alone, trying to think about, oh, I got to get in character and know my lines, et cetera, et cetera. So it was just like, this is all on me. Like, and if I forget something, like could, something pertinent for the scenes
mhm.
being filmed, it's like it could totally screw things up. So it's scary when you kind of don't know what you're doing. And it helped me earn I mean, it helped me uh get a lot more respect. Not that I was like disrespectful before, but like realization of what directors, producers, anybody, working behind the camera has to go through to get a film done, especially one that doesn't have a big budget where you just, I'll just hire 1,000 people, and where everybody's either working for free or for, just gas money, or, a little amount. So
Something to help.
yeah, anything. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, a lot of people do it for free.
And
Yes. What are
I I think, and Lord Gary Dando, what's your favorite scary movie? Well, we're actually going to get into that in just a little bit, actually, because it falls in about you know uh, about independent filmmakers and what's going on with independent filmmaker and Hollywood, and we'll get into that just a little bit. And for Sammy, yes, a better understanding. Yes, like we agree. Filmmaking is just, I guess you can say, it depends how you're attacking the situation. If you have things that are, I guess you can say, I wouldn't say handed to you, but if you have the money to do it,
Yeah.
it's actually a little bit easier. It's always going to be easy when you have the funds to do it. I think the number one hardest thing about making a film is budget and getting the money, um but I also tell people you don't have to have thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars to make a good film, to write a good story. A good story doesn't involve having a lot of money. A good
Right.
execution might, but also at the same time, it's always just what they said from Fast and the Furious. It's not the car, it's the driver. So when you're doing filmmaking, you don't need to go out and buy expensive cameras, expensive lighting, all this expensive stuff. I mean, the iPhones now, any iPhone or Android that you grab now have almost as good as a camera as
Yeah.
getting
Sometimes
like
better than some cameras that I.
exactly. It
Yeah.
actually
Yeah.
competes against some other cameras that you have. Of course, like I use a Blackmagic cinema camera, so that's its own type of camera. And when to get into a little technical terms, the coding on it and using RAW and knowing ProRes, that gets a little bit more technical onto what you kind of prefer using. But if you're just starting as a filmmaker, don't even worry about the budget. Don't worry about the budget. Don't worry about I need to get this, and this, because you don't need all that stuff. You just need a good set of people to help you
Yeah.
out. I mean, really a good set of people, and you just got to know how to talk to people. Like I think the number one thing about filmmaking also is knowing how to talk to people, because sometimes you can go out to a place or to a bar, and if you can, oh, I used to go and I said, oh, I really like this bar. I want to use it for filming. I wonder how much it will cost. Sometimes just talking to the owner and telling him this is my mindset. This is,
Yeah.
what I want to do. We can help each other. Sometimes instead of, they might not want to ask for any money from at that point. They might just be like, here you go. You can come in
Right.
on this day before we open. So
Well,
communication
especially
is
if you give
really
them a
important.
shout out. You know who's really good at
Exactly.
this? Derek Brash. I don't know if
Okay.
he's watching. He's another filmmaker, and he's really good about giving shout outs to places he works with as far as location,
Yeah.
and kind of promoting them.
It's it's
You know,
like promotion is worth money. People pay a lot of money to promote their work. And actually, bouncing off Sammy's, that itself can be pretty hard. It is hard. It's easier said than done, actually,
yeah,
because filmmaking is a gamble. It's a straight up gamble. You're either gonna do good or you're not gonna do good, and the ball is not on your side of the court. The favors are not in your hands when you do it. It's just who likes it and who doesn't. And but I think now in the present times, independent filmmaking has really stepped up and cranked up. And it's huge, and like we have Tubi now, we have Freevee, we have all these places that will release are more easier to get on these stations, compared to Netflix, where it's a little bit more competitive to get on there. But you can definitely get onto these other stations with a lower budget film. So let's see, Lord Gary
and I
Dando.
I would add. Oh yeah, Gary. Gary's
No, go
asking,
ahead, go ahead,
have I
go ahead.
done
We'll
any
get to you. We'll get to you.
what's that?
Have you done any
I've done a little
advertising?
bit of advertise. I see. Here's the thing. I don't have an agent, so I don't get a lot of advertisement work. I recently did actually, and I won't get into like politics or anything like that, but I was called to do a political ad. Actually, it was pretty lucrative. That was not. This was somebody that I know in filmmaking that I hadn't seen in years. Lady K from Lady K Productions. So she was great to work with, but she reached out to me and said, "Hey, we need a blonde for this thing." I didn't really have any I mean, I had you could only see like my back, so I wasn't like my face wasn't even visible. But yeah, so I had a thought about something that you had mentioned before, Keith. I got diverted by Gary. Oh, well, one thing I will say about with respect to all these available streaming services, on the one hand, it makes things easier if you're an independent filmmaker to get your work out there. But then there is the drawback of sometimes it's too much. In
Mhm.
other words, you got more competition. You've got more, competing for people's eyes. There's all this stuff. So it's pros and cons. You can,
Right.
I'll get something, but then it kind of dilutes the audience pool, I guess. So
It's
that
it gets tricky. It's dealing with like putting like so we have free services, I would say, that are very easy to get on, like YouTube. So you can put anyone can put their film out on YouTube. As long as it follows its guidelines, anyone can put it out there. And YouTube's not a bad place to either start at either, because you can start building your fan base on YouTube. There's so many people on YouTube who are making a living off from that.
yeah,
I remember when YouTube back then, when people will just be posting up like TV series, shorts, films on YouTube, and people will just watch it there. And then it was like when you finally went up to Amazon or Netflix and you went up, it's like, oh, they're stepping up to the big leagues. Um, but YouTube's great. And that's also another part about YouTube. It becomes competition, like you said.
yeah.
Um, you're
There are a lot of voices out there
Yeah,
competing
so
for eyes,
it's
I
like if
guess.
I made my film and you made your film and I place it up on YouTube, how are you going to get those people's eyes to come to my film? How are you going to get it to yours? And if you have a film that's like the same category as each other, you're really going to be butting heads with each other, because you got to say, okay, what makes mine better than this other person's? And then you're getting into competition. Same thing with Tubi. I know a lot of directors, like, I got my film on Tubi, and I said, that's awesome. That's great. That's a step up. It's great. And because people say Tubi, oh, don't go on Tubi. Tubi is, anybody's on Tubi. I said, it's not about anybody being on Tubi. It's about getting your work put out there, not just to a selective group, but you're actually going out there. Because sometimes I go on Tubi, and on Halloween, they have all these awesome, like, horror movies, and they're indie films. Some are lower budget films. And of course, you have the high end films. And I really love looking at it. I said, what? I'm going to try out this film. And sometimes you just click on it and you like it, and sometimes you just don't like it. But
Yeah, yeah,
like, it's still better than having it not posted anywhere. So
right, right.
I
And
guess
I
that's
would
my
say,
point.
yeah, and one thing too to segue into would be, Hollywood's kind of at a place right now at a crossroads. Just a lot going on there that people are increasingly not going to films as much anymore from Hollywood. I
Mhm.
guess I'm totally mangling what I want to say, but like, so
Are
I
you saying basically um Hollywood right now is not as oh my god, what's that term? What is the term? It's not as uh
relevant. or I don't know.
prestige or relevant as everything
And
else. Is that what you're saying?
yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think just people are looking for something more authentic, and Hollywood
Okay.
is so, it's a lot of CGI, it's a lot of formulaic
Mm-hmm.
stories, and which I get it. Investors are looking for the biggest return on their investment, but I think a
Mm-hmm.
lot of them aren't getting it because people watch a lot of stuff on YouTube, just like YouTube streamers,
Mm-hmm.
where they're not going to the movies like they used to. So, but I think that kind of leaves an opportunity for independent filmmakers. Oh, I hear a
That's
doggy.
my dog.
Yeah. um, that leaves an opportunity for independent filmmakers to potentially grab up some of these people that are just have lost interest in Hollywood and the whole like celebrity system, and want some more authentic stories, and not so much of the formulaic stuff in Hollywood. So I think it's actually a good thing.
Yeah, and like I said, Hollywood is like, I mean, not even going towards Hollywood, but like look at the theaters. You go to the movies, you spend how much money right now going to a movie to see something, and okay, for two, I think it's what, about $20, $30? No, not even 20. I think you're spending close to $30 for just two people to
Yeah,
see a
especially if like
film.
you want something to drink or snacks.
Yeah.
If it's like
it's
a family, like, forget about it. You're like, it's like $60 or something. It's
It's
crazy.
expensive. And I know the economy is not at its best right now. Um and it's hard for people to pay for things. But like what will make me want to go see a movie versus just waiting for it to come out. And I know back then people used to do that. They just used to, I'm not going to go watch it in theaters. I'm just going to wait till it comes out on the TV or on DVD and I'll just buy it because they're like, okay, I don't want to see it. But now it's like there's so many spoilers going on right now. Like there are people who go on TikTok and what they do is they would film like the good parts of the film and it will go on TikTok and you accidentally open it up and you're like, oh my gosh, thanks for ruining the movie for
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
So, but also like if you have programs like Disney Plus, you can go on there and some movies aren't even going into theaters. It's just going right onto Disney Plus or what's the other one? Paramount or even Peacock. So,
Well, I think,
people
yeah, I mean, even a lot of like the occasional times I actually go to the movies, um, there's not a lot of people there, even if it's for something that's like a bigger movie.
right.
So and just to
I,
digress a little bit with respect to screening Derange, like a lot of the theaters we approached to get it screened there, they were outrageously expensive what they
yeah.
wanted.
Yeah.
And it's just like they're just gouging the little guy as far as the independent filmmaker. They should take advantage of that, the fact that like a lot of independent filmmakers are out here, and we will pay, but if you could make it more reasonable for us, because you're not filling that theater with these
Right.
blockbusters necessarily either. So it's just like, why not?
And there's a lot of theaters I know that are like geared towards independent filmmakers where it's really it's they're a little bit more bearable to pay for because like I said, you go to a theater, a branded theater, and you say, okay, I have a premiere on this. Like a lot of people do it on the weekday mornings because it's much cheaper than if you do a weekend.
Yeah,
And you that could be a difference between $800 to $2,000
yeah,
that
yeah,
you have for it. And it just it I think it helps promote if the price were a little bit easy, but I understand that their business and they have to make their money too. But a lot of people now, they don't even go to theaters. I know a few of my friends who just go rent out a just a hall and they get a projector and they just watch it right then and there,
Yeah.
and it does the same thing. The experience is amazing, but at the end of the day, it's still very expensive sometimes to get that experience.
Yeah.
um and I mean, I guess that's just, it's we're independent filmmakers. We just have to go with what we can afford.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's the biggest
Exactly.
one. Like, I went to go see Beetlejuice, the second one. And you would think it would be super crazy packed,
Yeah.
and we went in there. There was only like two other people there on opening night. And it's like you would think, oh my gosh, it will be busy, it will be sold out. It's a Friday night. Yeah, just like three people at the premiere, and I
Right.
was like, wow, wow. And when you look at box offices, they're not bringing in as much money. Like, the amount of money they put into a film is not as much anymore coming out of the film.
Oh yeah,
And I
absolutely.
I I think, I don't know.
They're losing people left and right. I mean, it just
Right.
there's I you know, it's a lot of factors, but one of them is like what we were talking about earlier is that it's just like there's too much. Whereas
Yeah.
back in the day, 20 years ago, it was like there was less streaming, there's
Hmm.
less YouTube people
Right.
that aren't making anything as far as like, oh, a story in independent film, but like all these like commentators or different things like uh, that have people's eyes that are
Right.
diverting attention from regular standard film fare or whatever.
And like you said, it's an originality. I think a lot of independent filmmakers are really pressing on originality versus something that's either been remade or has that same concept.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like, I think what's getting a lot of people's eyes right now are originality, and it all follows through. And I think, honestly, what played a big issue in that is AI. I think after that strike came through, when SAG went on strike with I think that's kind of, it became the downfall a little bit of Hollywood.
yeah.
And
It
I
certainly
mean,
didn't help. That was like,
no, it didn't help. I wouldn't say it's a downfall, but it didn't help. And I'm not so, me with AI, I mean, and anyone, if you guys want to comment about AI, how you feel about AI, go ahead, because we want to hear your thoughts about AI. So as a filmmaker, independent filmmaker, I think AI has its pros and its cons. I think the pros of AI is, if you don't have a lot of money, you can help by it will help make things easier for you, help to make a world that you need to make
yes,
for
yeah,
really
I
cheap.
agree with that.
But the
Especially when
cons
you
is,
don't have access, like these big Hollywood companies can afford to have a dedicated location and things
mhm,
like that where that was one of our big challenges with Derange. It was like we needed a kind of a hospital-y type of setting, and we got they wanted a lot of money to use this. It was a college nursing school, and
mhm,
we like had a couple locations fall through that they kind of were stringing us along, like, oh yeah, we'll be affordable, and then all of a sudden they're like, oh yeah, it's $2,000 a day. It's like, what do you think I am, Spielberg? I'm not this big. This is not like this big company.
some people take advantage of it. They hear, oh, filmmaker, okay, we can
Yeah,
make
it's
money
like,
off of it. It's like,
get
yeah, it doesn't
real.
work like
Like, I don't want to be
that.
making money.
um it's and I think one of the major cons about AI is it's really hurting the industry of
Hi, Paul.
artistic people. Paul, good evening, Paul. Thanks for tuning in, Paul. Paul is actually playing as Mike, Laura's boyfriend in the Red Huntress series, which, yes, we'll be talking about that very shortly in Tales of the Red Huntress. Um, also, a little catch up of what we're doing. We're talking about Filmmaking 101. Right now, we are talking about AI. Is it really helping? Is it really helping, or is it not helping? So if you have your thoughts about AI, go ahead and jump in and let us know what you think. But I do feel like AI is hurting the artistics, the people who go out there who love to draw, who like to create originality, because AI is stealing that your originality and reshaping it into its own. It's scary how people are like, okay, here's a picture of yourself, and then you type in, I want to be a cowboy, and it just takes your face
Yeah,
and
yeah.
reshapes you to this look that you're going for. And it's like, wow, it's amazing, but also super scary
Well, I
because
would say I am 100% on board if AI wants to take me and like make me like 20 years old again. I am 100% on board with that. I am not
maybe it might,
one.
maybe it might. Then you'll be like, whoa, okay, no more, no more. We're done. We're done.
Right,
We're
right.
done.
Well,
We're done.
AI like has its, I mean, obviously it's going to get better and better, but
Yeah.
I mean, it has its limitations, at least at the moment. Like I said earlier, right now I'm at the stage because I want to get Drange up for streaming, and there are a lot of very strict requirements with respect to Film Hub, which is basically a place that you're going to be able to, okay, you can then from there stream it to Amazon Prime Direct, Tubi, all sorts of different streaming services, but you have to have it closed captions, and
Okay.
it's very, very strict, and they have to go through, it has to go through quality control. And I ran it through, I actually initially, through the advice of someone, uploaded it YouTube, unlisted it, and then downloaded the file, which is like SRT file, which is basically a closed captioning file in a certain format. And it was all effed up. Like it was. And so now I've got to meticulously go through there and correct everything, knowing full well that it's going to take me like a month or so to do it. And they're going to probably still be like, nope, did not pass their, they want you to pay, for them to do a guaranteed to pass. But I'm trying to save a little money as a lowly independent filmmaker that is not working with a lot of money. But I just know how this is going to go. I'm going to work on it for a month, because it's very tedious. It's not just a matter, oh, just like type your script up. Like you have to align it exactly with the moment, the milliseconds on screen. You can't
Oof.
overlap. I mean, it's very.
I think I'd rather just pay the fee. I
I
mean,
I'm leaning towards that. I'm leaning towards that. I probably will, just to save my sanity. Um,
yeah, I think your Sandy's pretty important.
because because I just know how this works, that I'm gonna end up like working on it for like a month or whatever, doing a little each day, only to submit it, and they're gonna be like, no, didn't pass our quality control standards. Was it CapCut captioning is superior?
You know
I don't
what?
know what
Hey,
that is.
I'm gonna say CapCut's pretty awesome. I love using CapCut, especially like it's a great beginner like program.
Oh,
And
okay. I've not heard of this. I'll have to check in there. I was
so
using something else. What was I using? Sub Edit
okay,
to edit the subtitles, but I mean it's just, I mean you
I
really.
like CapCut. I mean CapCut, I think they do that, but I think
Okay.
for CapCut what I do enjoy about it is that you can do different templates, you can make videos, you can do great for TikTok, so it saves you like so much time in like
Okay.
editing. Sometimes it's like, okay, I want to do this, and you just ask it, and then it gives you a bunch of templates. So CapCut's great. I don't know how it is with I don't know how CapCut is with closed captioning, but I
Oh,
definitely
okay.
know. I mean, for your sanity, I would probably just pay for it. Is it
Yeah.
expensive?
It's not that, it's actually not that bad, or it's like 300 and something, but I
Okay.
just paid out like $500 for images to be edited for or to be fit with their standards. So it's just like, let me see if I'll give it a
Why
shot.
didn't you call me to help you with that? I could have helped you with that.
I worked with someone, Suzette Brown, who is the my co-star Shannon Brown's wife, and she's really good at, with like getting things like technical behind. I mean, she's also an
Right.
actress too, but yeah. So I'm just like, well, I know she'll get it done exactly to their standards because they've put up some stuff, some films up in streaming services. So I'm like,
Yeah.
well, I trust her. I know she'll do it. But, and then I'm like, well, I got to try and save money on this other end. You know how it is as an independent
Yeah.
filmmaker when you don't
Always
have
comes
much
back to,
money. You're like,
I mean, that's the number one thing about independent filmmaking is how much money you can save.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So,
So it's like, all right, I'm like, all right, I spent on this one and like now I got to cut back on something else.
well,
But
because
it
it's like,
might
oh,
be worth it to just pay the thing that knowing that, all right, well, this will for sure, they'll approve it for quality control. And so I can get going with it and get on with my life and be on to the next
right.
project. Um, so that's kind of where I'm at with that. But yeah, I mean, that's like the limitations of AI right now. It's like, even as good as it is, it's like they were getting dialogue wrong, like left and right. So
Well,
it's
it's still a
how you
and like I said, I
AI.
think AI has been there for a while. I mean,
Yeah,
people when you watch some films like from back in the day when they were using CGI. I know AI was very tiny, like played a small role, but I think it was there back then. It's just now more um accessible to more people. But yeah,
right.
I can definitely see it getting much better. But I think a lot of people, a lot of like independent artists and people who create original content, they just don't like it, and I agree with them because of the fact of people stealing of AI stealing their work,
Yeah,
and uh it reproducing it to be something else. So
yeah.
I think that's like why people didn't like that. And also at the same time, it's when you're doing acting, like I know one of the biggest things was they were taking people's faces and then AI-ing them. Okay, I'm gonna just make up my own word now.
Yeah, there you go.
AI-ing them and putting them into films that they never were in.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
and that's kind of that's pretty messed up. It's like they didn't let you know that, and it's like it's all right. You're gonna be in this film, this film, this film, this film, and I won't need
Suddenly
you
my
anymore.
career just explodes without my consent, basically. Like
They,
all of a sudden I'm in all these stuff. I'm like, wow, I'm really famous. I didn't get any money
yep,
or
I
anything.
didn't know I was in there. Like what, you know. And I think that's what's hurting. That's also a big factor that plays in there. And it's like it's that's just what's going on with AI, and I think that's where people are AI is like hurting itself in a way with that. But also, like I said, there are good things about AI that can be, hopefully moving forward. It's everybody will be able to enjoy AI and use it. And everyone, we will be able to get to terms where it's like, okay, cool. I don't mind AI as long as it's not stealing my face or my
Right,
originality or my
right.
work. But I always tell people, speaking about filmmaking 101, your original work, always protect your work. Always copyright your work. I think Sammy made a post not too long ago and she was saying she has an original work. Where does she wants to put it out there, and she wants to see who can pick it up. And the number one thing I tell people is protect your work. Don't even send it to anywhere else. Pay the little fee. I think it's like $65 depending on what you do, but pay it. Go to copyright.gov, pay for it, get it protected, and at least you have that well knowing that okay, my work is protected, because I know a lot of people who do write stories and they're good stories and they just end up, oh, here, let me tell everybody what's going on here. Next thing you know, it's like, oh, someone stole my idea, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
So yeah, that's actually something important I like to tell people with filmmaking 101.
I have a
So
prediction for the future of filmmaking, though.
okay.
I think I talked to you about this before, but I think that because we keep getting to a point where we like to personalize everything, customize everything, And as Hollywood is kind of going the way of the dinosaur in certain ways, I think ultimately AI, and this tying in with AI, that people are going to have the ability uh, to, let's say, I'm trying to think of an example of a movie, something. Let's make it really absurd. Terminator movies,
Okay.
right? And
Yes. Speaking about
and
AI, yeah,
yeah, and you can
Terminator.
program it like, okay, Lillian is gonna play the role of Arnold Schwarzenegger's role. I'm just being super absurd. But like then you can kind of almost like cast yourself in films that have obviously been successful that everybody knows, and just kind of play around with it where it's legit, not like, oh, this silly cat face on me, and I'm like blah 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 blah.
Yeah,
Like
I mean it's
be
scary. I mean,
legit,
some
you
people
know?
can do like I've seen some AI videos that are pretty fucking like wicked, and I'm just
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, so
holy
people will be
cow.
able to, like, I think, once it gets, which I don't know what that will do. I mean, people like to watch, a series or a movie
Mhm.
now, and just imagine if you could just like, "You know what? I actually wanna be in this film. I wanna see me as this role," and then it does it. I mean, who knows when that will be, like, the level of AI technology. I mean, you see, like, that there can be, like, these deep fake things that, they'll
When you
post
have to
it and
start
say
questioning
something.
reality, that's the
What's
number
that?
one thing. When you have to start questioning reality
Yeah,
because you're
yeah,
like,
like,
wait, is this video real or is it not? Like
yeah,
you're
and I
like,
mean, it's kinda scary, but,
it is. It
it's also
is.
it will definitely be, I think, a form of entertainment, but, I mean, can you imagine just like, I wanna see myself in this role and, do it. Oh, yeah, I
Okay.
mean, absolutely. I think, a lot of people,
Oh no, I can see a
um
few people doing this. Yes, I mean, who knows? What if like you don't even know? Maybe AI in the movies, it's basically like when you look into the film, right? Like I like okay, so I played a game. It's called I played. I think that's Call of Duty. When I was playing, I played the campaign. I forgot which game it was, but they were showing like it was like okay, they walked into an airport and they were getting their bags checked, and they looked at the advertisement, and when it looked at your advertisement, it literally like changed that advertisement to you
yeah,
in
I
that.
actually heard about this just the other day from someone. Yeah.
And it's scary. It's like imagine, yeah, going to a film and you're watching that film, and you walk into this theater, and what it's going to do, it's the camera's going to read your face, and every person who watches that film will see it differently, but it's themselves in that film. That's
Yeah.
scary. I mean, it will be pretty cool, but also at the same time, that would be super, super scary.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
and and
it's
and
yeah,
and that's
face
how it
swap,
is.
basically.
And he's
Yeah,
like face
scary.
swap. It's basically face swap. I mean, people face swap themselves with the wall, and they're like, "Look at me, I'm in the wall." Like, oh my gosh. So, like, look at
Yeah,
me.
but I mean,
Woo.
I think it's kind of a, it's gonna be very a new world, very interesting. But I think, with that, like I said earlier, there will be, I think, a market for people, like authentic stuff,
Right.
where
Right.
independent filmmakers could potentially fill that role.
Yeah. And that's how it could be, even AI right now is being used. I was watching the behind the scenes of the Mandalorian for Star Wars, and a lot of the places they don't film at the location. They have like this. It's not AI technically, but it's like they use virtual 3D virtual worlds, and they have these big giant like 4K projectors, and they light up the actor the correct way. It's like they're going from it's like going back old school filming to modern times, because back then you would watch the old like 70s 80s 60 films, and they would be driving the car and you see like the projector in the back, and it's just like showing them like driving, and they're not really in there because they tried to blend it as much as they could, but it did seem off. But when you go ahead and you look at how it is now, when you see it now, it's the same thing, just in more modern times, and it
Yeah.
blends it in. And like with AI, you can type in. I mean, people are making movie posters and little comic stories and really weird videos off AI. Like I've seen the videos of people transforming. Like they would say, "Look at this grandma mowing the lawn," to them being on stage in the rock. You're like, what? Like your mind's like, I don't compute any of this. Um, so yeah, I mean, AI is interesting, but we'll see what it does in the next,
You
in
just
the
gotta
future.
learn to be able to use it. Like, I heard somebody mention this about the key to navigating it, as far as if you're a creative person and you want to, you don't want to like lose your job, so to
Yeah,
speak, you got to be, in order to be competitive, you have to learn how to use it in your
yeah,
own artistic things.
yeah,
So like basically you're just coming out of getting ahead of it,
yeah,
and that way you don't render your job obsolete because you're utilizing it, I guess, if that makes sense.
exactly. So Gary says, I done it on my YouTube channel. It's absolutely so funny. He does the face swaps on his YouTube channel. so I think it's time that we talk a little bit. We're gonna be doing a short segment, always near the end of our podcast. We're gonna have a short segment called "The Tales of the Red Huntress." So, "The Tales of the Red Huntress" is my own little mini series. I'm kidding; it's not a mini series. It's just a little talk that where we talk about the Red Huntress, and the promotion and getting things ready for it. So as everybody knows, let me go ahead and pop this open on the upper left hand corner, I'm sorry. So up here, if you guys want to donate to the Red Huntress, this is a great opportunity. You can either, if you don't want to go through Indiegogo, you can donate it through Cash App for us. But I'm gonna take a quick walk through on Indiegogo. So when you go to Indiegogo, you can go ahead and let me see if I can do this. On our Indiegogo, when you donate, you can get some awesome perks to help. Um, uh, how would I say it? Wow, words. On our Indiegogo, it's great for you and both for us because one, it helps fund our film, but you get some awesome perks. And like I said, you never know if this film is going to get picked up and go somewhere. So don't miss out
Right.
on these cool perks because who knows, it might be money in the long run. You never know.
Yeah.
So get Lillian's autograph or something like that. So actually, speaking about that, Lillian will be at the Oddities this weekend in DeKalb, Illinois. Am I correct?
DeKalb, yes. I had
DeKalb. Okay.
actually, um, while you're talking, I will get exact details so that way I can
Perfect. So, all
inform.
right, you do that. So, um, so if you guys use the QR code and scan to get on the Red Huntress, it's gonna take you to our Indiegogo. And give me a second. Let me pop this up. And here it is. So it's going to go ahead and take you to the Red Huntress page. If you want to, you can watch the first episode here by clicking on it. You can watch it there. I all right. So down here as you go, it will talk a little bit about the story and why we're trying to raise the funds. This was actually a really fun day on set. I'm not going to lie. It was great. I know we're missing some people in the picture, but it was kind of like a last minute picture. We like, come on, guys, let's all take one. Um, so when you go down, you can read about the project. It's set in the late 1800s, early 1900s. Wellows Ridge, a small village, is terrorized by creatures after a curse has been placed upon them. Alice Stromberg secretly battles evil alongside Lance Owens and Jenny Wills, unraveling a sinister conspiracy while villagers accuse her of witchcraft. Alice must bring the truth to the light before it's too late. So, as you go down, here we go. This is our one and very own Lillian Lamour. She is playing as Laura Wellow, who is a vampire. And we'll be learning more about her character in episode 2. Here's some behind the scenes from our first episode that we have done. I'm gonna scroll down here a little bit about. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to go so fast. A little bit about the team and the crew, and of course, episode 1 behind the scenes that you can go here and check it out. I'm sorry if I'm going too fast, but also here's where the cool things are. So you can pick your perk on here. There's different perks you can scroll down to and get it. One of them is the Reaper's Memorial, where your name will be used in the story as one of the people who were killed by the creatures of the night. So you can get that. Your name on the train card. You can get cool trading cards with our cast autographs, and also producer credit. You can get
Where
now
did
this one. What was that?
I just reading this. Support a goblin.
Yes. Okay. So this is new. I'm gonna go ahead and click this. Give me a sec. Okay. So, all right.
It looks
So
like I'm blowing out my birthday candles with the demon
look
behind
at
us.
happy
Here
birthday.
you go. Make a wish. I love it though. It's really
Oh,
cool.
it was really cool. It's creepy, and I'm excited to bring who is that character behind you, like, and it's like you're so comfortable with this character behind. It's like, what's wrong with her? um, so, or if you meme it, if you guys want to go ahead and drop a meme in the comments or drop
Yeah,
what
actually that's a good idea.
yeah, that would be cool. I'll switch it back in just a little bit, and but start thinking, everybody. I will put this picture up a little bit more blown up after I explain the supported goblin. But start thinking of quotes, okay? Think of quotes of what this picture would be if it doesn't have any words. It doesn't have words, but what do you think it shows? So I would love to hear everyone's thoughts on that. Um, so support a goblin is new. It's really cool. So in episode 2, Alice gets put to the test as she battles a goblin. By donating to this perk, you will help us create the goblin look. You will receive a special thank you on social media, IMDb SFX credit, an exclusive behind the scenes video on how to. Sorry, on. Oh, I'm sorry. There's a typo on here. Wow, on how the goblin comes to
Jeez.
life. That's what it means. Wow, wow. So, but that's pretty cool. So basically, um, when you donate, it will help us fund the goblin to make it really awesome, make it scary. Because as independent filmmakers, we really can't afford these things on our own. But that's why we always want to reach out and ask for help from our fan base. So you don't have to do it, even if you don't have the funds to donate to any of these perks. Totally understandable. We're not mad at you. But you guys can simply just
Speak for
share it.
yourself.
Yeah, share it. Go. Take the link of this, share it to your friends, family. Who knows? Maybe one of their friends or family, might be interested in this and would like that. Um, when I came up with these perks, I really wanted to make sure that the audience definitely gets, like, when you donate, the audience gets to be a part of the film in some sort of way. And of course, as you scroll down, we got sponsor and actors, where you can sponsor an actor and that money will be used to help them. Oh, this is actually a cool one too. Get your business name in episode 2. For all my local businesses out there, the owners, if you guys want your name in the episode, and I'm not just talking about just in the credit, I'm talking about in the actual episode, your name will be on there. Your company's name will be on there. So that's pretty cool. That will help us out a lot. And it also helps promote your business as well. So this is actually from episode 1, but let me switch everything back real quick. Let me head back there. All right, all right. And I'll pop this thing right back up. I'm back. All right. We're back. So, basically, let's talk a little bit about the Red Huntress. So, your character, Lillian, I mean, have you read the second episode yet fully?
I have not read the entire. I kind of skimmed it today because I got it today, and I
Yeah,
was
we just
pressed for
released
time. So
it.
I looked for where I was in the script, and it looks pretty interesting.
So, like, I'm excited because the first episode, if you guys haven't watched the first episode, it is on our YouTube channel. So don't forget to like and subscribe. And I think we're doing pretty good because I think we're at 1.4 thousand views in 9 days. Definitely would love that number to shoot up. Um, you guys will be able to watch the first episode on YouTube. And like I said, I enjoyed it, but also at the same time I didn't like it because I've been sitting there editing it for like the past like 2 weeks. So it's like I'm so burned out of it. But I love it. It's
Oh,
just
I was
I'm
like,
burned
yeah.
out
Did
of
I
it.
hear you right?
Yeah.
So you didn't like? Yeah, I know what you
No, no,
mean.
no, no, no. It's like I love it. I love my episode. I mean, if I didn't like it, I wouldn't put it out there.
Right, right.
So I'm just so burned out from it because you're just for like the past 2 weeks you listen to the same scene over and over and over again,
Yeah.
but you got to make sure it sounds good. So it's a little sacrifice you have to make. How else would I say? So for episode 1, we did a lot of cool things. We the budget we had was, I believe, $2,500 we raised for the budget, and we were able to make it. Um, we were able to work with that funds to help produce this episode. And again, as an independent filmmaker, money is always tight. It's always going to be your the most difficult thing because you can write stories however you want, but I would always say make sure it's in your budget range.
Yeah.
So make sure it's in your budget range. So if you're going to do a scene where you're going to jump off a roof and do a fight scene and tuck and roll, make sure you have a budget to get the right safety equipment needed, because the last thing you need to say, all right guys, I'm just going to pull out a sofa mattress and this is where you're going to land on after jumping off a building, and we'll use fishing wire to hold you up. That is not going to work out well. So always write your stories within your budget, but also don't use a budget to hold you back. Right? Just write
That
what
is
you
great
want.
advice because
Yeah.
that's very true. I think, I have some film friends that uh they write where it's the sky's the limit, and
Hmm.
unfortunately it's hard to actually put that into production because they're writing thinking like they have this unlimited budget, but so you should be realistic, like how you film
Hmm.
stuff, and what you can pull off. If you don't want to have to, like, oh, I need $10 million, I need to raise $10 million to make this film. So but I
Right.
love that you said that, like, but also don't let that keep you from.
Don't let budget hold you back. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
learn, and I would say, and in our next session that we'll talk about, we'll talk more into depth about filmmaking from a budget standpoint and how you can save yourself a lot of costs, because budgeting is just huge and some people don't know where to start. And I would say the first thing is promotion. Promote, get your story and promote. And that's what we will be talking about in our next session, is budgeting, because that's always like budgeting and promotion, because that's just so, if you don't have a good promotion plan, it's going to be very, very difficult. I will tell you that. But for just generalized, don't let your budget ruin your story. That's how I always put it. I mean, when we filmed Red Huntress, if you watch the episode, I use miniatures. I built miniatures, and I went on YouTube and I taught myself on how do I keep things really at a cheap base without spending an arm and a leg. Because if I really wanted to, um go and find a place. I could have probably found an old western town somewhere, and they'll let me use the whole town, but how much money will that cost me?
Right. Yeah.
Like, no, thank you. And it says right here, Sammy says promotion is key. It is highly, highly, highly important that you promote, because I cannot stress enough. If you have a team and you want to put that story out there and you're the only one promoting and no one else is, I'm going to tell you it's not going to go anywhere. It's not going to go anywhere. Lillian, do you have experience with this? You see,
Yeah,
I
but
saw your facial
well,
reaction.
okay. I have a confession to make. I mean, I have to admit, I need to get better at this. Part of me. So with Deranged, I was a little bit hesitant to like have an Indiegogo type of thing. In fact, the previous director that was attached, was like urging me, this is a way to raise money. And we had one investor. It wasn't very much in compared to, let's say, any big production, but it was a
Mhm.
lot to me for like what
Right.
to do with it. But as far as raising additional money, I have to confess, I hate that. And I'll tell you why. I'm just going to be totally honest with you. And I know it kind of like is in conflict to what we're doing here. So just take
Right.
it with a grain of salt. But I just look
I'll
at it
take
like,
it with a pound of salt,
oh
okay?
yes, yes, yeah. I'll do it as tactfully as I can. So part of me was like with Derange, like I didn't want to ask people for money on Facebook, because like I'm just looking at it like, okay, well, a lot of my Facebook friends either, are struggling with hard times. They don't have um a lot of money to work with, or there, a lot of fellow filmmakers and actors that are raising money for other,
Mhm.
their own stuff. So it was kind of like, I don't know if conflict of interest is the right phrase, but I felt bad asking people for money. And I know that I'm kind of like the weird one in this, because a lot of, such as yourself, like you guys are good about raising money and promoting. I have other filmmakers I work with that do a great job with that. And I just got to remember that like we're raising money for something tangible, a project, a creative project. So I just have to get over that, I guess,
Mhm.
because you are so right, because you could you're only as good as your team type of thing, as far as generating interest and raising
Right.
money. So this is like more of a me problem than everybody else problem, but I'm just being honest, like that's where I have trouble and I have to get
Mhm.
better about that. And
It's a tough topic. It's hard to like. Okay, it's like asking someone to borrow money, and it's
yeah,
like
yeah,
so awkward. But like you have to like I always tell people, it's awkward, it's weird, but we also have to understand that when we get involved with doing this type of stuff, it's going to be like you're going to need to ask people for help.
yeah,
Even big productions still need investors to donate to them.
right.
And it's, when you can take out a loan, I highly do not recommend it
Yeah, that's what
because
I've done. Yeah,
do not take out a loan. I
it's
always say, I mean, you can if you want to, but I'm just gonna tell you, I wouldn't. I would
right.
try
You got to pay
to
that
earn it.
interest.
Yeah, and work within your means. I guess
Right.
that's the number one thing. Work within your means. If you can't afford, a certain budget, then figure out how you can make it cheaper. Start talking to
Yeah.
people, get your connections build up, because when you get those connections,
Oh,
then
I
it can
love
help
it.
you. Let's see, let's read this. Okay, hold on, I'm gonna go switch over to the to your picture over here. Give me a second, and we're gonna go ahead and open up this. All right, here we go. All right, let's see this. I know this is like
I look better in the
dun-dun-dun.
picture than I do.
There you go. Mine's so blurry in this one. You know what I mean? I don't get it. So okay, so here we go. We're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna add epic music to this real quick. We're gonna make this a little bit fun. Hang on. Let's see if it'll let me do it. Hold on. I'm sorry.
creepy music, right?
They have creepy.
I would think that's more.
I don't know if you can hear the classical. Can you hear it?
I hear birds chirping. Hang on,
You
let me
hear
turn off my little mini heater. I'm in the garage here.
I hear it a little bit. I don't hear it as much. Okay, I'm gonna try one more. I was gonna do something funny with it. Let's do Halloween music. I don't know what this is.
Yeah, there you go. It's kind of like
Okay.
zany Halloween stuff.
Yeah. Okay. So here we go. um, 50 Shades of Little says, as for the meme, LOL, laugh out loud, dot, 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 dot. Reminds me of something I like to tell the joke about for everybody. So, when you're too old to blend in at work, but everyone can tell you're just here for the snacks. What? Wait.
No, she said when you're told.
Oh,
But
when you're told. Oh, wait. Okay.
That's just like you're like, man, she just burned Lily.
Yeah, please. When you're told to blend in at work, but everyone can just tell you're here for the snack. You know, this is just like that same thing when you show up to a wedding and like, have you heard of stories of people who just walk into different weddings just to grab the food, and then when
wedding
someone,
crasher, right?
yeah, and then when somebody's like, "What are you here for?" Like, how do you know the bride and groom? And you're like, "Oop, deuces, I'm out." All right, all right. The next one. All right. Oh, okay. Here we go. Paul Nada says, "Is that my daddy, my new daddy behind her?" Oh, that's not a meme. He's just saying that. Well, I don't know, Paul. I mean, we're gonna have to figure that out in the episode. I don't know if that's your daddy. I don't know. Do you want him to be your daddy? Who knows? We'll never know. Tune into episode 2 and you'll see if
That's
Paul
right.
has his new daddy. We'll see what happens. Need something spookier. Okay, listen here, all right? Reese is only giving me these type of music, and I'm going to take what I can get. All right, here we go. All right.
I noticed my eyelash was like.
This is like the part where everyone's just gonna look at themselves and just like, all right, let me check myself.
Well, yeah,
out.
like now I see all the details. I see my cockeyed eyelash.
Like, there we go. All right. So
Ooh,
Gary
that's a good
says,
one, Gary.
Is that the Reaper? I don't know. I don't know. Again, let me do my thing. We'll find out in episode 2. Oh, here's my camera here. We'll find out in episode 2. Oh, okay. There you go. I'm looking all weird and stuff. Okay. So next one. Mr. Goblin thinks Lillian is a snack. Okay. Okay, Sammy. Okay. That's a little bit inappropriate now. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. What do you mean by snack, Sammy? What do you mean by snack? Please tell me. What do you mean? Because we're not talking about cupcakes here either. I don't know with your mindset. All right.
We're gonna have cupcakes for Gary's birthday.
Yes. We will have cupcakes for Gary's birthday.
Yes.
But you know what, Sam? You won't get a cupcake. Okay? You won't. You won't get a cupcake. I don't even think she can eat cupcakes. I think she's lactose intolerant. I don't know.
Gluten free. She can have a
gluten free. Gluten free. Yes, gluten free. There you go. I think you can have. I think gluten free. I don't know if they make that. I don't know. All right. Next one. The devil comes to the candlelight supper. Sounds like let's see. The devil comes to candlelight supper. Okay. Looks, I can see that actually as a poster. It actually looks like a movie poster for like that movie, like something like along that lines. Okay. Right? Yeah. The devil comes to the candlelight supper. Sounds like a movie. Like a little series or something like that.
Yeah, there you go.
I mean, it's a good title. New title. It's the off story. All right. 50 Shades of Little. Okay, she's getting mad at us now. That was supposed to be an inappropriate comment, not a meme. I know it. I knew it. I knew it. Knew it. Shame on you, Sammy. Shame
I
on
think the
you.
meme. We can make the meme. They make Benadryl for a reason. I think that just
So is the okay? Let me go with that one. Okay, hold on. So you're
no.
saying
She means
so
for eating cupcakes.
eating cupcakes. So
Yeah,
okay,
because we'll have
so
a reaction.
so okay, so for that thing, for no, this is a meme. This can be used as a meme.
Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
make it a meme. Okay, you ready for this? Okay, so Lillian just ate ice cream, right? Like some dairy, and she's lactose intolerant. Okay, the lactose intolerantness is going to be the man behind her. Okay, and that's where we'll come up with that. They make Benadryl for a reason. Instead of a red huntress, they make Benadryl for a reason. That's what it
Yes.
is. Her thing is haunting her right now. Oh my gosh, that's a good one. Ow. Let's see, got a little intro. Sorry, my response are
That's
lagging.
another good meme.
That's another great meme. Okay, how can we do this? I don't know how to turn that into a meme like that.
Oh my goodness,
I have
that's
no
too
idea.
funny.
I have no idea. All right. Well, it's time. That this is going to be a new segment where we're just going to meme something. People can just put their meme and we'll put some music in the background and people can just do memes. We'll have to do like the same style as this. Where it just
Yeah.
zooms into our face. Like dun dun dun. All right.
Before we close, I want to give everybody information. If you want to come out, I will be this coming Saturday from 11 a.m. till the end, basically, of the night, which I actually don't know when it ends. It's for the 2024 Dark Art and Oddities Convention. It's in DeKalb. So at Alt Geld Hall is the location. You could look up the Dark Art and Oddities
Hold
Convention.
on. What is it? What is it called? I can put it on here. Give me a second.
Ah!
Um, hang on, hang on. I'll put it up here. Just okay. What is it called?
You mean the location or the event?
The event.
Okay. The 2024 Dark Art and Oddities Convention. I'm going to be reading a poem, an Emily Dickinson poem there in the morning. And then it's just like a lot of vendors with some like really cool stuff. And
It
there's
is.
going to be a costume contest. It's kind of a blending, I guess, of film stuff and just oddities. So I'm trying to look up the description to give you a better idea. So whether you're a fan of horror, paranormal mysteries, or the macabre arts, this event is designed for those who love the eerie and unusual. So yeah, and then you can just go to like the Facebook page for it to get like a better idea of like all the things going on. But I'll be there judging the costume contest next
Let me see if I
Saturday.
can put it up on screen. Hang on. But continue. I'm going to see if I can put it up on
Yeah,
screen.
yeah. I don't want to read everything because I feel like that would be boring. But if you want to find out where to get your tickets, it's at Dark Art and Oddities con.com. It's actually on if you look on Facebook for this particular event, it'll give you a link for doing that and finding out a little more about the event. So I will be there. I will have my own table and I will be promoting the Red Huntress series and Derange. I'll have some copies of that to sell. And yeah, and I'll be doing kind of a reading of some poetry for it in the morning.
I'm back.
So come on out to see me.
Yes. Do it. Do it. Come out and see her and see us again Monday night too as
Yes,
well.
yes.
Because we'll
Definitely
be
tune in next
back.
Monday if you can't make it out
We
to the event.
yes. We will be back. We'll have some new guests with us. Next week we'll be talking about budgeting and will we do fun promotion or fundraising, or are we just going to talk about life? Which one should we do?
Yeah, put your vote in.
Put your vote in. we're pretty good at making things up on the fly. So, would you guys want to see a
Story of
video
my life.
talking? Yes. Would you want a video of talking about relationships, problems, stories, weird kinks that you have, or would or would you want to talk about budget and promotion? Whatever it is, we have no issue talking about it. I always like talking about life and relationship stuff because that's pretty cool. I like doing that. And I like helping people too, but also some stories are really interesting to say. So,
And
um,
everybody can relate to that.
they can. You know what? I think we'll talk about life and relationships next podcast. So I think we'll go ahead and
Oh,
do that.
props. Maybe some props,
Some props.
Sammy.
We want to do props. Okay. So you know what? We'll this will be cool. It will be a we'll do a try segment. Speaking of kinks, I can't wait for the next meme. Oh my goodness. Okay, okay. So what are we thinking? Do you want to do props? Do we do life and relationships? Or do we do I don't know. What should we do? I don't know. I
Well, you know
mean, or
what? I have a suggestion. Maybe on Facebook, we can. So if anybody wasn't able to make it to this stream, um,
okay, Sammy, I know I spelled convention wrong. I'm sorry. You know what? Just for that,
convention,
we're done. We're done.
condition.
We're hiding. We're hiding that. Here we go. Were you talking about Sammy? I don't know what you saw. I spelled convention. I
She
don't know
saw
why you put
nothing.
convention. Yeah.
But
Mm-hmm.
we can always put it to like our Facebook followers or whoever. Just if people are not able to make the stream, and we could see if they have any thoughts.
Yeah.
Hi, Mac.
Put in the comments below. Like I said, I got some cool props so we can talk about. I have awesome things. So we can go into props, and next week we'll have another guest with us who'll be tuning in. Well, it really depends on which part of our which podcast we end up doing, but we always can get people on our show. It's all right. So
There he
um
is,
so
Mac.
talk about props and inspiration for the film. Let's do that. Let's talk about prop and inspiration for filming. Like how to get let's do that. So all right, we're gonna hold the relation knife farts. Okay, we're gonna hold the relationship talk for another day. But next Monday, tune in, and we're going to be talking about props and inspiration for the film because I got some cool things that I think everyone should check out. I'll also bring out the goblin costume. I think we should be in character since we're talking about the film. What do you think, Lillian? You think we should
I
go in
think that's a
costume? All right,
splendid idea.
we will be in character for the next episode and or the next podcast, and we will see who will who will be a part of it. I mean, maybe do you just brush off my comment? No, I said knife farts. LOL. I already said it. So um all right, everyone. So next Monday we'll be starting again at the same time. If you haven't, go ahead and like and subscribe to the Movie Crew 17 channel. Also, I believe Lillian's channel. YouTube is also being restreamed through here. Go ahead, Lillian. What is your YouTube channel that people can
Oh
go and
God.
like and
See how
subscribe to?
bad I am? I'm so out. I think it's Lillian Lamour, I think.
You
I'm
think? How do you
I know.
think?
Well, okay. Again, I confess, I am not. I want to get into this kind of stuff more, and so I don't. I don't stream on my YouTube very often, but I would like to continue to do this. So I think it's Lillian Lamour.
Lillian Lamour. Okay. Well,
Just look me up here. Here, let's make it simple for everyone. Just type in Lillian Lamour in the YouTube search. And here we go. I'm live. Oh, okay. Let's see. What does it say? My channel. We're gonna look. I don't stream. Oh my God. I'm like doing. I'm hitting the button, and it's gonna be really. It's gonna sound weird, but yeah, that's me. I'm up here. So just type in my name. You'll find me. I'll be better prepared for the next stream. I promise you.
All right, you're good. You're good. You're good. So, all right, everyone. So that follow her, like and subscribe to her channel. And again, if we have our donations still open. So if you want to donate sometime this week or wait till your paycheck if you want. That's will be awesome, be great. You can check out our Indiegogo. And next week we'll be back again with talking about props and how I was inspired to make the Red Huntress, but also just how to inspire yourself and motivate you to get your project out there, because the number one thing is motivation. If you don't have it, well, we're having a problem. So that's next week's film or next week's podcast, and then Lillian will also let us know about how the Oddities convention is.
Yes,
So
I will.
make sure you swing by, say hi to her, check her
Hey,
out.
Mac, maybe I'll stream it. She suggested over here, start posting a day in the life of an actor. Yeah,
There
I
you go.
really
Why
need to.
don't you stream it?
I don't know why I haven't, to be honest with you. I really don't. But so this is good practice for me.
There
But
you go.
maybe I'll do some streaming during it. Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
She couldn't find you.
No, you don't.
Okay.
Mac's like, I want to know your life. Oh Lord, you do not.
Okay, so Sammy said I couldn't find you. Will you message me the link? So
I will.
we'll post it up. I'll post it up in our comments below, and then yeah, we'll go from there. So all right,
For
everyone, thanks
joining
for
us,
tuning.
everybody.
Yes, thanks for tuning in on our stream this evening for our first ever stream, Movie Crew 17, The Lounge. We'll see everyone next Monday over here, and yes, we'll be in costume and characters. So we'll see how that goes. So let's get it. So all right, everyone, have a good night, and for some, have a good morning, I guess. And don't forget to like and subscribe, and